This is the Healthy Business Podcast, the show for ambitious business owners who want to grow and scale in a healthy way. I'm Sarah Cook, and I'll be sharing with you tips, inspiration, and proven methods from leading business experts, entrepreneurs, and health and wellness professionals to help you grow your business with more income and having more impact, but in a way that works for you. Because when you have clarity and strategy, you can achieve the results you want. Hello and welcome to the Healthy Business Podcast. And today I have the lovely Abigail Langridge, owner of Poppins PA, joining me. And we're going to be delving into all sorts of different things, but really talking about how you can make your business work for you, but also from a personal and lifestyle perspective as well, which is both of us really important. So Abigail, thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, hello, Sarah. Yeah, lovely to be on your show. Really privileged.
Oh, I'm excited to see where our conversation goes today, because I know we have lots of common values around business and lifestyle and the importance of both of those. So I think today's...
Yes, we sure do. Yes.
So before we kind of delve into all of that, what question I normally start with is, what does a healthy business mean to you? And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
So a healthy business to me would be a business that works around me and my family, because that's primarily why I set up my business. I think it's very easy to look at what everybody else is doing and think that you should be doing this and getting dragged into lots of other people's lives. But primarily it all comes back to us. And I've got 3 children, I've got a husband that works shifts, and going back to my why, a bit of a classic example really, but it needs to work around me. A business that means I can do the school run or the sports days and all those examples. And a business that means that if I want to work in the evening, I can work in the evening. I'm a bit of a night owl, so working in the evening is something that I like to do sometimes, to perhaps clear an inbox or something. So it's got to come back to me. I've got to be happy with it.
I love that. And I think it's something, as you know, is close to my heart as well. And that actually, it is about having a business that fits with your life rather than your life having to fit around your work. And I think that's the important thing, is that for some people, working set hours works perfectly for them. But actually for the majority of us, that flexibility, that freedom is what is so exciting about running your own business, and why a lot of people do start their own businesses as well. And as you say, having that flexibility to do the school run, to even to work in the evenings, like that is okay. I think we see so much around when we should be working, what we should be doing. This word "should" comes up so often, but it's okay to work in the evenings. It's okay to take the days off. It's about finding that way that works for you and creating that business that allows you to do all of those things, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my clients, for me, my life is very much business. There's no clear divide, as I don't believe there's any real clear divide between anyone's life or work really anymore. I think COVID really mingled those two together. But my life was kind of like that anyway. And I always wanted that, because I like that reliability. I like that relationship that I have with my clients, that they can almost contact me at any point, because they can contact me at any point doesn't mean I need to react. Yeah. And then obviously comes in those boundaries that then reinforces the balance that you want. But I like them relying on me at any point in time, and then it doesn't really matter where I am, as long as I'm meeting deadlines that impact their life. I could be in Tesco, I could be wherever. So I'm still living the life I want to lead, but supporting the clients living the life that they want to lead. So my strapline is live life seamlessly, but not just for the client, but that's for me as well as a business owner.
Oh, I love that. So important. And I think I did a recent episode on this podcast, which was all about work-life balance and how I don't agree with that term work-life balance, because you just said it is all life. And for those of you who are interested, go and listen to episode 37, which is where I talk about it in more detail. But what I would love to do is talk a little bit about your business and how you do help people kind of have that, living life seamlessly, because they are all entwined. And as you say, it's life.
Tell us. Yeah, absolutely. That. So the kind of people that I work with are people very much like me, actually. I mean, I kind of feel like I'm my own ideal client, and I've realised that in the last year probably that's actually okay, and the business was probably set up subconsciously for someone very much like me. Very ambitious people that actually adore and love working 15 more hours a day, and and not needing permission to do that, but then subsequently missing their personal life and themselves were suffering for that, because there's only so many hours in a day. They can't possibly have a thriving personal life and a career. So that's where I would come in and just keep things running for them. And a very large part of my business, which has come into play in the last year, there was the wellbeing section, in that we all know that if we don't put ourselves first, everything suffers, and we've all got the best intentions, but it doesn't, intentions are great, but unless you actually take any action, nothing happens. So when I take on a client, I try to work out with them after a conversation and a few well-directed questions what they love. And one of my newer questions on my onboarding questionnaire is what makes them belly laugh. So it's a bit of a direct question.
I love that.
Yeah, so again, I did M&R about putting it on my onboarding questionnaire, but it's really, I have put it on there for new clients that come on board going forward, because it's really important to me that clients, I know they know that I'm working with them and not for them. That's a really clear distinction that is very important to me. And knowing what makes them belly laugh can really make a difference to how we support them. And also working out what they love to do, whether it be yoga or a run or a HIIT class or a bath, whatever it might be, a real variation in activities, so that we can incorporate those things into their week, their month, whatever. It's not about having a tranquil bath every day with 50 candles around it. We know that people don't have hours and hours or even half an hour a day, but at least some time every week we incorporate time for them. Some clients are very good and they might have a PT session in the morning or something, but then we just keep on top of it to make sure that actually, are they going to the PT session? Are they getting anything from it? It's all very well having it in a calendar, but are they going?
Going and doing it.
And I will really ask them, how was Tom or whoever it is, what are you doing with them? So it's, the wellbeing is a very large part of what we do. It's not just the arranging diaries stuff that we do.
And I think, you mentioned there about doing the things that they enjoy doing. And, joy is one of those emotions, those positive emotions that actually, it's not about just having that feeling, but it can actually have a really amazing positive impact on your work, your career, your relationships, and everything else. So if you are doing something for yourself every single day, every single week, that level of joy just goes up, and then you start looking for more little moments of joy. They don't have to be, as you say, they don't have to be big, grand gestures or anything like that, but the things that you do on a regular basis that you commit to doing can make all the difference to, especially if you're running your own business. It makes you more productive, you've got a clearer mind. It's so important.
Yeah, I mean, that's why a lot of people, this whole, it's Friday, thank God it's Friday, they're looking forward to the weekend because they know that weekend's their kickback time, they're going to play football or whatever. But actually, why not do something on a Wednesday that gives you that Friday feeling? I always have half an hour out for lunch. My phone's on Do Not Disturb. I don't have it near my laptop because even I would be sucked back in. I'm just going to sit and do a couple of emails while I eat lunch. Well, then it takes 45 minutes because I'm actually emailing and not eating my lunch. And I'll watch like Fraser, the comedy show or something like that, because it makes me laugh. And it makes such a difference to your day. So I know people don't have a lot of time during the day, but it's very surprising what can be incorporated when you start realizing that it's a non-negotiable rather than I don't have time and you keep scrapping it. So it can take time to get those times into calendar, but I really do work quite hard with clients to make sure that there is something during the week.
And we were talking about this before we came live, actually, of how you have recently started running and how, before you actually started running, you were like, I just don't have time for this. I know I should be doing it. I know other people are doing it, but I just don't have time to do it. What was that kind of trigger for making you make that change or find the time to start your running?
So yes, I started running in August. My husband is a bit of a machine in terms of it's either all or nothing, which works. It works well. I find it a bit overwhelming sometimes, but it worked well. So he convinced me to go to a park run on a Saturday, which I'd done a couple of years ago, but never really taken it too seriously. But I'd I grew up dancing, so I'm used to being relatively fit, but running around after the children isn't really fitness in my eyes. I wanted to do something consistently. And he'd always told me that I was built like a runner anyway, so I might as well just kind of do it and just get on with it. So I went with him, and then he said, okay, we're going to go out on a Monday now. And I said, well, I can't do that. I'm working, because only about 6 months ago and before that, I was working every evening. And that was part of the way I was running my business. I was working every evening, which was fine. But to work every evening, including Friday, it was becoming too much, as well as working during the day. That wasn't, things had become too much, and I'd let my own boundaries slip. So we started running on a Monday, and it was like a complete revolution, because running to me, I don't take any technology with me. I'm not one that runs with my earphones either. I literally just run as me. And to just listen to my own brain and my footsteps just completely changed the course of things for me. So we've run every single Monday since then, and I've run every single part run since then as well, including Christmas Day. And it's actually, to slow down has actually helped me speed up, because I reframe all those thoughts, all those brain dump thoughts, all get figured out while I'm running, and I've become fitter. And I can just see things so much clearer. So all the things that my clients suffer from, I've suffered from. And running has really, really helped me. So I've even got some proper Brooks Ghost running shoes now. So I'm actually a runner, because I went through that period of saying, well, I'm not really a runner, but I don't know what stage you become a runner. So now I quite confidently say I am a runner. I've got my, I spent over £100 at Pro Direct. I was like, oh, I'm a runner. Only runners would spend that amount of money on Pro Direct or whatever. And it was, and I love Park Run, and I love the fact that I hold those boundaries on a Monday and Saturday morning. And yes, it's hard to hold those boundaries, but it's only a habit. It's only a habit, just like anything else. And the effect of sticking to those boundaries has been profound. It's been so good.
That's amazing. And I think you're right. I think there's always a reason not to do something, isn't there? But there are also lots of reasons to do things. And it's just finding out what works for you, and the energy that can give you, and it can be any kind of activity. It doesn't have to be running. I mean, I'm a runner as well, and I totally get that. But it's finding what works for you, and that gives you that space, that time to think, to declutter your brain, away from the technology, but also it gives you joy, and that, helps you with giving you energy rather than draining your energy. And, I'm a massive advocate for this, and it could be absolutely anything, but taking that time to find out what that actually is also important. And it could be a partner that's saying, come on, give this a go. Or it could just be you going, actually, I'm just going to try a whole load of different things. I remember when I was, I've never really interested in yoga at all. And I tried different types of yoga, and I just didn't get on with it. And then I met this lady who was a hot yoga teacher. And she was like, right, I'm going to set you a challenge. And she just approached it in totally the right way. She kind of drilled into my inner competitive streak. I was just like, I'm going to set you a challenge. Come and give this a go for 10 days straight, and then tell me how you feel. And it was completely life-changing. And I was like, okay, it is just finding what works for you. Like if someone has said, go try yoga, I'd be like, okay, I've tried lots of different types of yoga. That's not for me. But now I recognize that I actually need different things. As I get older, I need different things. As my kids are at different ages, I need different things. I can fit different things in. And that's all okay. Like if it's just giving yourself permission to test things, try things, and
we go out running at 9:30 at night. We go out running really late, because it's when our two youngest are in bed. It's when you put the house back together and whatever, and you finally usually flop and perhaps put on a program for an hour and a half. Well, actually, we barely watch telly now, because if we don't go out on a run on a Monday night, we'll go out for a walk on a Tuesday as like a recovery. And it's always easier to stay indoors. Of course it is, especially in
the winter.
Absolutely. And I mean, for those of you that don't know me, I am in three layers of thermals during the day. Until the video is released, I've got a scarf on as we speak, and I'm like this until May. But running, I've run in 1 degree in a vest, because I get really hot. And that I'm actually quite proud of, because it's proved to me that I'm not always cold. I just need to get my body moving, and running in the
So
cold in the evening, I find so liberating. I can't even express it fully, because we run out to, because we're in Kent, we run over the North Downs. It's quite high up, and the views are amazing. And like, we see the foxes, and oh, it's just so lovely. And again, it's doing something with my husband. So it's not just
yeah.
about the exercise. I can't tell you how much time I've spent with him in the last couple of months, because it's just bizarre, because we're like two ships that pass in the night. So again, that's another box that I'm ticking. So it's always easier to stay inside, but once you're out doing something, or whatever your thing might be, always going to show you massive benefits, always.
So important. As you said, that it ticks so many different boxes as well. It's affected your business in a positive way. It's affected your
Yeah,
energy, your
yeah.
fitness, the connection time with your husband, giving you
Mm,
joy. Like, there's so many different elements. It
yeah,
doesn't have to be exercise. It's just something that brings you
yeah.
joy, I think, isn't it? And just, looking at that. I mean, I can't do cardio exercise in the evening, because it massively affects how I sleep. So
Mm,
again, it's just finding that activity, but also finding the right time for you when that
yeah.
works. And also your availability. But I think using the reason that you are so busy to not do something for you
Mm,
isn't, I don't think it's valid. And I am being really honest there. It's a bit of a truth bomb kind of being thrown out there, but I am being really honest, because
mm,
we're all busy. We're all got so many things to do. We're juggling so many different hats. But actually, if you do something for you, it really does have a huge positive impact on
yeah,
everyone and everything around you, including your business and your families.
yeah,
So I
yeah.
really encourage you to do that, as listeners who are thinking, oh no, I'm too busy. I know what they're saying,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
um,
yeah. What are you busy doing? Because I mean, I always have work. With the kind of work I do, there is always things for me to do. It's not like it's a 3 month thing, and it's like your programs, for example, Sarah, and then it finishes at a certain date. My work is ongoing all the time.
yeah,
So I could work as I worked as last year, in the evenings all the time. It could go on forever. But I decided that wasn't healthy for me. As I said, healthy business needs to work around me, and it wasn't working around me. So I tried it once. Excuse me. I tried it once. Went out for an hour run with my husband. No drama. No big drama happened. No one died. No restaurant was empty because my client hadn't turned up or whatever. It was then part of my week, and I've worked around it since. My clients are still in existence. I haven't lost any clients or anything. In actual fact, as I said, business is doing very well, because I'm now living that I'm practicing what I'm preaching. And it's, yeah, I really resonate with people that say that they're far too busy to incorporate well-being or whatever, but
yeah.
it's then drilling down and working out what your version of well-being is, because it doesn't have to be going to the gym, a class, and all the rest of it. It could be something at home. There's so many things. So don't overthink it.
Yeah, and I think also there's so many little things that you can do with the everyday activities. Whilst you're in the shower, are you using your favorite smelling shower gel that gives you joy? Are you,
Yeah.
whilst you're cooking, are you listening to your favorite music? Like, you can add lots of different positive things into your everyday
Yeah.
that enhance things without you having to create more time separately to do things as well.
Absolutely, and that's the difference, isn't it? People think that they need to create extra time, whereas, like you just said, I mean, I use Sarah Cox on BBC Radio 2 between like 5 and 7 when I'm cooking dinner. Anything Stevie Wonder comes on, radio's up, everyone needs to stop talking because mum's dancing in the kitchen.
I love
So
that.
again, I'm because of dancing, I love dancing, so I'm often dancing like a crazy lady in the kitchen, but I love it. It's just, and it's 5-10 minutes of something else that I love.
Mm.
So like you say, it doesn't have to be exercise. It's just something that is me. So it's again, stop looking what everyone else is doing and just come back to kind of who you are.
Yeah, I think there's this sort of thread that's coming through this is it's about finding that focus and then getting intentional with those things,
Mm,
is I think kind of where we're kind of leading to a little bit, because it's, it's all well and good. We can throw out loads of different ideas and different things that you can do, what you want to do, all that kind of things, and share our examples. But actually it does come back to you, doesn't it? It comes back to what you
Yeah,
want to do. But I think giving yourself space, that really drilling into how you want to run your life and potentially what isn't quite working for you now, or even what you can enhance. You might be super happy listening to this and thinking, I've got a great life, the balance is working really well between business, life, families, etc. But I think there's always little things that we can do to add more joy or
yeah,
enhance things. And maybe it's sleep that you're trying to work on, or whether it's getting more clients that you're trying to work on. Whatever
mm,
that is, it's just really drilling into that focus and then getting super intentional with the time that you do have to
yeah,
make those changes and really start seeing the difference.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's I mean, that's why I put on my questionnaire, what makes you belly laugh? Because I think it's taking that element of being an adult out of it, because once we become adults and we get responsibilities and lots of plates to spin, everything becomes so serious. But asking people what makes them belly laugh instantly creates those memories of perhaps when they were younger, or Michael McIntyre's sketch or something like that, and they instantly become themselves. It takes them out of the business, out of the day-to-day things, and they instantly become who they are. So once I know things like that, I can work with them in such a personal way, and that's exactly what the business is all about. It's working with them and not for them. So I'll have to come back to you on in the future as to what people have said, because like I said, it's a brand new question that I'm going to be asking future
Yeah,
clients.
I'd love to hear that. Such a great question. And maybe just as you're listening to this, just take a moment and really think about what makes you belly laugh as well, because I think
Yeah,
it's great. So let us know some feedback when you're listening to this and pop
yeah, I'd love to know those
comments.
answers. That'd be great. I mean, the last time for me was when we had three of my girlfriends around that I went to school with back in August. I had them around my house with all their kids and the dog, and you can imagine it was like a farmyard. But we were just laughing about times of when we were younger, like, God, did I really wear that, and what they said and all that kind of thing.
Yes.
And it was just so great just to be us.
Yeah.
And now we've got husbands and dogs and kids and all the rest of it. And it was so good. That was August for me that I last can remember the last time I belly laughed. And now since then we go out every other month for dinner, the four of us,
Amazing.
just to try and connect a bit more. So we're out at the end of February. But it just reminds me that although I'm asking clients, I'm doing it as well.
I love that. And I think it's not necessarily about working less or about working harder. It's about working
Mm,
smarter that enables you to do the things that you want to do. And
mm,
that will be work for a lot of us because we are ambitious and we want to help people that we do help. But it doesn't mean you have to stop doing the things that you personally enjoy doing, like
yeah.
meeting up with your friends, like doing all those things. And I mean, your business has grown hugely over the last kind of few months
Mm,
as well.
mm.
And how have you managed to continue to grow that? Have you been looking at outsourcing? Have you stopped doing things? Have you changed how you've been working? So kind of thinking about it more from a business perspective.
So yes, so my business has grown because I gave myself permission to not do everything. Like most people, it's no, I'll do that, it's quicker, I know how I want it to be done, etc., etc. So it took me quite a long time to get my own VA, because especially being a PA myself, it was almost like I knew too much,
Yeah.
that I wanted to micromanage, and that's definitely not a way forward for either of us. So to have my own PA was a big step for me, because as I'd already mentioned, I'm suffering from very, very similar issues to what my clients are suffering from. I've got my own family, house, husband, all the rest of it that still needs to be managed. And regardless of what business I have, it's still a business that needs to run. So that was the first step a couple of months ago, that I've got my own VA. And I've just got the social media lady who I'm very excited about, because I know more than most people. It's about that consistency with most things. And I'm very conscientious about a lot of things. So I've got a social media lady now as well, which really excites me, because I feel such an alleviation of not having to be everywhere all the time. because I want to be everywhere all the time, but it's okay that I'm not. If I don't want to go on social media, that awareness that I'll still be present, but it doesn't always have to necessarily be me, even though I've given her the content, everything's coming from me. She's putting it all together and scheduling it and doing all those bits and pieces. So it's about giving yourself permission that you can still grow, you can still have the success you want, but you don't have to do it all on your own. So I heard a lot of this before I got to this stage in my business. And at the time I was thinking, oh, I won't need to do that because, I'm a PA and I can juggle all those things. I won't need the help. But of course I needed the help. It was ridiculous for me to think otherwise, because I was thinking as a PA rather than a business owner. And feeling okay to step into that leadership role, that having other people on board that won't do things the way I will do them is also okay, because working to their strengths is a good thing. And I think that shows you're actually a really good leader, that you can give things over, and it's great to delegate, because it gives you that practice for more success in the future. And I'm really excited. So I've got the social media lady, I've got my VA, and I've also done it in my personal life. I've had a cleaner now for about a year, which was an absolute game changer. And I think I love her more than my husband, to be fair. Because it's very, the imposter syndrome, you get hit by the imposter syndrome stick, don't you? Because you think, oh, I haven't got the kind of house I think I should have to have a cleaner yet, or anything like that. But it's, again, you're still running a business, you're still a mother, business owner, whatever. It's okay. Stop overthinking it. It's okay. And if anything, it makes me focus that when she's here, I just work, because I know that those 2 hours when she's here then are almost like a transition of money, because I'm earning what she's effectively doing at the same time.
Yeah.
So yes, my kind of team personally and professionally is growing, and that's great. That's really good. And again, it's at my own pace. And again, it's about permission. I've done a lot of personal development in the last 6 months, and it's really given myself permission to not worry about where I am in business in accordance to where everyone else perceives to be. So it's your own race. So it's great to have that network and look at other people's, but it's so much more beneficial to be happy with your own race.
And it goes back to what we were saying earlier around actually creating something that is going to work for you and that you actually want, not what you think you should be doing, not what you see other people doing. And I use a brilliant quote, which is, don't compare your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 22, because it's just, we all see things with our own lens, and it's really important that we don't get sucked into that kind of imposter syndrome, or, we see so much around of kind of this overnight success, which actually has probably taken people months, if not years, to create. It's so rare to see that true overnight success. It's, people have had different businesses beforehand. They've had different personal journeys, experiences going on. All of that kind of leads into creating something that you want, and really, really getting clear on that, really understanding and taking that time. It's, again, it goes back to giving yourself that permission, taking that time to really get clear on what you want, because then you can start making that plan to how you can achieve it. Whether it is that run on a Monday night, or whether it is that putting the music on when you're cooking, there's so many different things that you can do, and it doesn't have to be prescriptive. One of the things I love about being a business owner is the flexibility and having the ability, I guess, to do things in a spontaneous way. But I definitely need structure, and I get so much more done. But I remember when I first started out, I was like, I want to resist all the structure because I don't want to be doing 9 till 5. That's why I left the 9 till 5.
Yeah.
But, I think we're kind of programmed into a working day should be A to B. But actually, a business owner, when you're running a life as well, it has to be flexible around all of those things. I will quite often do the school hour days, but I don't start till 10:30 on client work. I do something for me that's going to set me up in the best way.
Yeah.
But quite often I will check something in the evening or do something, and I'm happy with that. I know other people just work 4 days a week, and that's okay too. So I think it's getting really clear on what that looks like for you, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm usually hard pushed if I do 4 hours a day,
Yeah.
which is obviously for most people half a day. And I can probably hear people thinking, oh, I'd love to do 4 hours a day. But 4 hours a day sitting at my laptop, but then on the school run, I might be messaging a client, WhatsApping them. My phone goes off constantly. So my do not disturb is set between about 9:30 and 1:30, so that if it does go off, I don't know about it,
Mm.
because that's when I've got my head down, actually getting stuff done. And then again, it goes back to those boundaries. And then over lunchtime, I've got my half an hour piece. And then after that, I'll go through things. And I won't always reply to a message, because I'll look at it, know what it is, mentally think, right, okay, that doesn't need to be dealt with. And I won't reply to it, because A, then it serves as a reminder for me. But also, if I reply to it, I'm then telling that person I'm doing it then. So I'm managing those expectations always. And I set reminders for things, because usually I have to remind my clients to do things. And it's just not wanting to do everything in one go. So I was last year, well, kind of December time. I don't really do the whole New Year resolution thing, but I did want to really clamp down on my evenings, because I was working far too much in the evening. It was really exhausting me. Even though I was running on a Monday, I still managed to kind of go on my laptop in the evening more through habit. I haven't done that since early December. And also between sort of school run time and dinner, I won't look at my phone. It was on silent, so I'll see it ring, and depending on who it is, I'll only pick it up if it's kind of urgent. And then I'll pick up anything that I need to deal with straight away, and then I'll close my laptop again. So I'm really trying not to work in the evenings, because it was just too much. So it's what you want your day to look like. You know, some days I might work a lot longer. It might be like 3 days in one, but that's fine, because it works around me. It works
Yeah.
around me. So yeah, it all comes back to what you want your life to look like, and not worrying that if you don't do what everyone else is doing, that you won't get to where you want to be. You will, but you're doing it your way, and you'll get there far happier
Yes.
and in your own time, and you'll be achieving the things you want to achieve, not just professionally but personally as well. And that is far more worth. It's worth far more than anything else, because otherwise you get to your goal and you'll just be burnt out. You'll be burnt out, and then you won't have spent time with your children or your husband or whatever else, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, I could talk about that for a long time.
No, it sings to my heart as well. It's something that I completely agree with. And I think there's kind of two key things, isn't there, around, this idea of getting clear around what it is you want to achieve and or your goals, how you want to live your life, but also this element of working in your zone of genius and outsourcing the stuff that someone can do better or quicker than you can, or if it's preventing you from working in your business and
Yeah,
thinking about it from a cleaner perspective, they can do that work and you can have that financial transaction, but actually you can earn a lot more money during
yeah,
those 2 hours than you could
yeah,
if you were doing the cleaning. Similarly, from a VA, I know a lot of people kind of from a tech side of things, or social media tends to be the two key areas that people want to look at outsourcing.
yeah,
But there are amazing people, and that is their zone of genius, that are specialists in tech, specialists in social media. And to spend a couple of hours of investment with them could save you whole days of you trying to find the answers and trying to
yeah,
do things. So
yeah,
what feels like potentially a cost is actually
mm,
an investment to help you grow your business.
yeah.
And this could be across anything, couldn't it? It's just really thinking about how you can create that business, that life that you're wanting.
Exactly, absolutely. Yeah, and it's okay not to be good at everything. So I do social media sporadically, because it's, if something comes to me, I'll post about it, and then I'd feel really bad that I haven't posted for a couple of days. And you think, oh, people won't know who you are and all this kind of thing, but actually it's fine. You don't have to post all the time. And the lady who's doing my social media, she loves it. Like you say, she adores content creation, and her posts are probably better than what I would write myself, because she really aligns with what my business is about, and she knows me. She's come personally recommended to me, and I'm so happy with what's provided to me. And like and it makes me feel quite excited going forward, because I've got more support.
Yeah.
It's
And I
almost
think,
like having a hug professionally.
yeah, and I think on that, social media is one of those tricky things that um, I would recommend finding someone who just totally understands what you're doing, how you're doing
Yeah.
it,
Mm.
understands your tone of voice, because people do buy from people, and that's what we're trying to do with
Yes.
social media from a marketing perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you've got that person, if you find that person, if you spend the time, helping them and really finding that person who does understand you and can talk in the way that you talk,
Mm.
that's when that's a game changer. I think getting
Yeah.
someone just outsourcing your social media for the sake of it, that doesn't really
Yeah.
understand either your industry, your business, or even you,
Mm.
that's when it can feel frustrating, because you're not going to get the results. So
Yeah.
it's, again, it comes down to intention. It comes down to that focus of,
Mm.
if that's something that you're wanting to outsource, do it in the best way that you can do,
Mm.
that is going to help you get those results.
And you don't always have to outsource, because again, I was nervous I was going to outsource, and you think, well, I'm not quite there yet with the costs and things. It doesn't have to be an enormous thing
No.
yet. I'm only posting 3 times a week with one newsletter on a Sunday. It doesn't have to be an enormous thing. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
If you've not got a cleaner or something, it could just be an hour a week, just to break the back of it. And you can always build on that. So that was one thing that I struggled with. I think, oh, my business isn't at that stage yet, in inverted commas, but actually you are. But you can just do it again in your own way. It's small steps, just
Yeah.
baby steps. Contact those people, say that, maybe you just want to start on an hour. In 6 months' time, you can up it to 2 or 3 hours a week or something. So again, it doesn't have to be all or nothing.
Yeah. That was the phrase that was coming into my mind as you was talking about that. It doesn't need to be all or nothing.
Yes.
Yeah, so true. So if someone's coming to you and saying, "Oh my goodness, I'm just so busy. I want to spend some time on stuff for me, but I just can't fit it in." How would you work with them? What's your sort of process once you've done a sort of onboarding call and you know what makes them laugh? Where
Yeah, of
would you go
course.
from there?
So first port of call is their diary. So I try and have half an hour or 45 minutes with them on their diary. And I do a brain dump with them at the same time. So I say, well, what are you missing? What do you really want to be spending time with? And say, I don't know, say the client says they want a date night once a month with their other half. So we'd look at their diary. Usually people are booking themselves in back to back, not even incorporating travel time, even if it's the school run. So they're not incorporating coming back from the school run. Booking themselves in from 9 o'clock when knowing they don't always get back until 9:30, then you're on the back foot for the whole day. So I'd always book in contingencies. Even if you're Zooming and you're not going anywhere, having half an hour between meetings and putting those contingencies in different colours, because it's not just about having a break between the meetings, but it's about reframing as well. Comfort breaks, getting your head out of one meeting, just having that kind of sanity break. And then what are you involved in? What's that client involved in that's not enabling them to go out, once a month on a Friday? Can you delegate? Are you involved in so much that actually that meeting could probably be delegated to another member of the team? Or do you even need to be there? Again, people usually have their fingers in far too many pies because they think they need to be doing it all. They think they need to be everywhere. So again, what contingencies have you got in your diary? If you haven't got any, alarm bells should be ringing. And then look at what you're actually involved in. And then usually between those two things, you'll be surprised at what time you can get back.
So exciting. And I'm really excited because we, as a bonus for my upcoming accelerator program, the Healthy to Wealthy Business Accelerator. So whoever joins on that at a certain level will get a session with the wonderful Abigail to help you manage your diary, to help you lose that overwhelm, to make sure you have got joy in your diary, to accelerate the results in the ways that you want to, which is super exciting. So can't wait to have you on there.
Yes, that would be amazing, because I love getting knee deep in people's diaries. And I'm going to give a disclaimer. I will question people on, you know, why are you doing that? Are you sure that needs, you know, people there with their to-do lists? I will eradicate things that have been on people's to-do lists. If they've been on there more than 2 weeks, cross it out, because it's obviously not urgent. You know, your to-do list shouldn't be over 5 things, really, because otherwise it becomes a bit of a toilet roll, and it just becomes that bane around your neck. It's not a to-do list, is
Reframe
it?
the to-do list as a toilet roll. That's amazing.
Yes.
So true, because it just becomes so long, doesn't it?
Yes, and it's, I mean, I've reframed the whole to-do list to a to-you list, because we've got, you know, I don't know, new school shoes, whatever's on your to-do list, you know, personal business, people throw it all together. No one is ever on their own to-do list. You know, when was the last time you had a massage? When was the last time you bought yourself some flowers or anything like that? Put it on the to-do list. Why aren't we on our to-do list? I've recently set up a subscription with Amazon. I'm a bit of a chocoholic freak, that I have quite a large bar of dairy milk delivered on a subscription every 6 weeks from Amazon, because it's what I love. So every 6 weeks I treat myself, not for any particular reason other than I love chocolate. So yeah, so, you know, I am on my to-you list. And like I've already, you know, explained about the Monday run, it's a bit of a date night with husband as well, which is a bit bizarre, but it's, you know, put yourself first. Everyone can put themselves first, regardless of where they are in their business. It can be done. So I'm hoping that, you know, working with you going forward with the ladies who will have a session with me, I can help them incorporate that into their life. And it's far easier than initially thought.
Yeah. And it really does break down that overwhelm, especially if you're stepping into that leadership role of your business, wanting to see the successes, just having that understanding, that clarity as to how you can, I guess, create more time in your diary without actually having an impact, a negative impact, I should say. It's going to have a positive impact.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, within a week, I can usually get something in their diary that is for them as a person within the week. So she says.
Yeah, I love that. Sounds
challenge.
So exciting. Yes, challenge accepted.
Yeah.
And if you do want to hear more about the Healthy to Wealthy Business Accelerator, take a look at my website, sarahcookmarketing.com, because all the details are on there. You can join the waitlist and find out everything you need to. But Abigail, I've loved our conversation. I think we could probably carry on talking about it, because there's so many similarities, aren't there, around this balance of business and life, that actually it's all encompassing. It's about really doing the things that you get excited about on both of those sides of things, but also the things that you want to do. Reframing a to-do list and putting yourself on there should be at the top of the list. The to-you list is such a great idea. And something that I think we're probably all guilty of falling down on every so often. But, you know, as you say, it could be a bar of chocolate, it could be a lovely bunch of flowers, it could just be stopping and actually enjoying that cup of tea and being really mindful about that cup of tea that is hot, not one that's just gone cold because it's been sat there because you've been supposedly too busy. So amazing. Where can people find you if they're wanting to connect?
So my website is poppins-pa.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, Poppins PA. I'm on LinkedIn as myself, Abigail Langridge. So yes, I'm always looking to help people generally. If people are stuck, just give me a shout. I can usually throw you a couple of tips to get you unstuck. So yes, I'd love to hear any comments or anything like that. Just tag me.
Will do. And I want to touch on, actually, really quickly before we do end, we didn't talk about the name of your business, Poppins PA, because I think it's brilliant as to where it's come from.
Actually, I can't take any credit. My husband came up with the name. He has his extra uses as well. Because I started as a VA, as most people do. I've been a PA now for over 20 years. And I'd kind of created my niche organically. I loved working one-to-one when I was in the corporate legal world, wanted to carry on that, but have it reflected in your name, because like most people, you end up kind of doing the work you love, but then the business, the brand and the name doesn't really reflect what you do. So I still had my VA name, which I don't really like saying, actually. It was Virtually Abby. It makes me cringe and shiver, because it's so far away from what I was actually doing. But my husband, Mark, just said, well, your clients call you online Mary Poppins PA. So it just completely fell out, and it just struck with me instantly, because again, soon as you think of Mary Poppins, everyone knows what she's about. And I've brought the Mary Poppins into modern day and online, because the kind of things that I'm asked to do, for an example, I've got one of my team members looking into a client's stepson's birthday to have his own Lego piece commissioned for a birthday present. I never knew that you could have your own Lego piece commissioned. Yes, you can. Because the client just said he loves Lego. Can you find out if the Lego would do an work experience day or just something special for him? So after a kind of shout out on LinkedIn and things, you apparently can have your own Lego piece commissioned. So all those requests are very, very random. I can't predict what I'm going to be asked. And it's exactly what kind of Mary Poppins did back when she worked with the Banks' family, because it's working for private families. Although we work with the clients, it's working for their families. That stepson's birthday. I work with one client and she's one of 4 siblings. And I work for all of them in effect. Because it's part of the family. It's what we do. It's working for that person, and if that person's got a family and a large connection, then we take them all on board in one go. So it's very holistic, but that's really important to me.
Yeah, and it's creating that life and that business element that works for you but also works for your clients, which is just amazing. And I love that you take it into the different angles of restaurant bookings and party bookings and things like that, but helping people manage that, because that does have an effect on our to-do list and our business and all the other things. It is that headspace that gets consumed by all these different things that we have to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, don't carry it all around with you. Do a brain dump, because even just the process of doing a brain dump is incredibly beneficial. You'll probably find at least a third of those things on a brain dump could just be wiped out, and you're still carrying them around because it's habit.
Yeah.
Once you see them in black and white in front of you, you think, oh no, that was done. But you'd not physically just let go of it, because it's that just release of energy. Yes, I mean, I was going to start talking about something else, but I'll probably stop, because I think otherwise we'll be here until dinner.
We'll have to do another episode, won't we?
Yes, that would be lovely. I've thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, Sarah.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us, and hope you guys have enjoyed listening to the Healthy Business Podcast today, and I will see you on the next episode. Thanks for listening to the Healthy Business Podcast. To get your free checklist with 1-minute hacks to accelerate your business and find out more about our community, head to my website, sarahcookmarketing.com/healthybusiness.